Hi, everyone. Sorry we got late. It's a busy day here at the Capitol. We are trying to get votes in on these critical bills, and I'm looking forward to answering questions and also uh, figuring out how we uh, pass these bills. I mean, that's the critical area. So let me just give some folks time because we've been late to get on, and appreciate folks joining. We're trying to the infrastructure bill and also the Build Back Better bill. And so that is our hope, that is our plan, and they could be calling votes at any minute. That's partly why we've been late, not knowing when they're going to vote, and I'm just people time given how late we were on the start, and then I will look forward to giving everyone a update on what's going on. And I'm just keeping an eye on my phone in case they call votes and what the process really is going to be. So the plan today was to vote and the president's Build Back Better bill, but the president is there were 5 House moderates that refused to go along with that, and so now we're thinking they insist on getting a CBO score, even though this bill is officially paid for. They are not willing to pass this. And the bill has a lot of important things. I mean, it's going to have universal preschool for everyone in our district. It's going to have the biggest investment in climate we've ever seen, the $550 billion of climate investments in electric vehicles, renewables, solar and wind, a methane fee. It's going to have childcare at 7%, no more than 7% of your income on childcare. So the bill is a very, very good bill. And it's going to have massive investments in broadband and infrastructure. But the challenge has been that you've had 2 senators who were holdouts, and now you have 5 House members who are holdouts. I'm hoping they come to a compromise where we can at least advance the Build Back Better bill through the House, and we can at least advance the infrastructure bill. And that is something that we're working on today. And the president has asked us to vote on these bills. We have to really make progress. I mean, that is the key. I think people are frustrated that we haven't made progress so far, and they're demanding that we start making progress. So that is a lot of what our focus has been on trying to get these 2 bills through. And I want to now try to answer some of your questions. Edward asked, if dental coverage for seniors under the proposed let me just if dental coverage for seniors under proposed 3.5 trillion passes, when will it be effective? I'm a senior and have a dental procedure. This is a great point that you raised, Edward. It won't be effective until 2028 because of the CMS. They want to certify all of these dentists. So what we're working on is getting a $1,000 voucher to seniors. And if we can get that $1,000 voucher, then you would get $1,000 right away. Now, I know that that's not enough. I mean, a root canal would cost a few $1,000. So, but at least we can get $1,000 every year. Now, this is still being negotiated. And we're still working on it. But that would be the plan. Alex asks, how do I sign my children for vaccine appointments? Alex, Santa Clara is now providing COVID vaccinations for children ages 5 to 11 following the November 2nd approval. You can go to www.sccfreevax.org. And Simone, if you could put that in the live feed comments so that you know where to get it. So I really appreciate your asking that. Santa Clara is providing a place where you can get it. Let's get some next questions, because I can go to about 3:30 before they're going to call votes, and want to get as many of these questions answered as possible. So basically, I mean, we're working on getting the infrastructure bill. We're working to get the bill on Build Back Better. We have to pass both of these things to really have a chance of making a difference. And that is really the goal, to try to get both of these through and deliver for the American people. Jen asks, can you talk about how we can decrease prescription drug protections past where they are in the bill? I think what you mean is we should have Medicare negotiate for prescription drugs. Right now, there's too much of a monopoly power. You can't get generic drugs. The price is much higher than other countries. If Medicare negotiates, then they would have the ability to have more generics. They would have the ability to lower the price. They would have the ability to save taxpayers' money and individual money. And we're working to make sure that's part of the Build Back Better agenda. I really appreciate that point, and we're fighting hard to make sure prescription drugs are in it. Aparna asks, what are you doing to push immigration reform that includes employment backlogs? There are millions of people affected by USCIS delays and country caps. Aparna, I'm on Raja Krishnamurthy's bill and Zolofkin's bill to get rid of country caps. It's passed the House. We're pushing to make sure that this is part of the Senate bill, but this is not our decision. It's the parliamentarian's decision whether the parliamentarian will allow for it to be part of reconciliation. If the parliamentarian does, then it will pass. If it doesn't, then we have to go back to the drawing board and see where we can get it to pass the Senate. It has already passed the House. I understand what a big issue this is for so many people in our community. Let me see our next question. Lisa asks, why does Biden avoid EEO's executive orders given the current state of government? Lisa, I was just on saying we got to get an executive order to have forgiveness of student loans. You know, I took out $100,000 of student loans. I did well in life. I'm fortunate, but a lot of people, they don't have that opportunity, and they're thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in debt. We need the president to sign an executive order to forgive student loans for the working class and middle class. That is one of the biggest things he can do. Let's go to the next question. Carolyn asks, how did the big oil hearings go last week, and what are the next steps? Thank you, Carolyn, for asking about that. I appreciate so much your vision, your in following that. We had, for the first time, big oil executives testifying in front of our committee. It was first time ever they came to Congress. They were under oath. I recommend you watch it, or at least watch the 15 minutes of my questioning and my opening statement that's on Facebook. Basically, they did not take any responsibility for their past misstatements. And even though they talk about being for Paris, even though they talk about being for clean energy, they haven't taken concrete actions. The next steps are we've subpoenaed them for documents to see if they told us the truth, and we're going to push them for commitments to stop the funding of disinformation and to really take actions consistent with their goals. If they're for Paris, they need to hit the goals to comply with Paris. That is a really important point. Let me ask the next question. I think there may call votes at 3:30 here. I apologize for being a little scattered today, but it's one of those days where we are being called for votes and just all over. But I really am excited. And I'm coming home all of next week, so I'm going to get to see a lot of you next week. Joy asks, what do you think about the recent election in Virginia? Is it similar to the recall in California? Is it someone to use it to threaten Biden to pass the bill? I believe that the election in Virginia was partly based on the fact that we haven't passed anything yet. We got to get and deliver for the American people. And that's why we need a win. We need to say, here's what we're doing for the American people. Here's what we're delivering for the American people. That's my view. And we're prepared to do that. Let me see. That's why we're pushing hard to get both the Build Back Better and the bipartisan bill passed today. Josh asks, when are we going to get free community college on a national scale? We will get free community college. We should have gotten it in this bill. I mean, we're in a 21st century economy. Shouldn't we have free college, free community college? Not just free community college, free college. I mean, it's crazy what it costs to go to Berkeley these days. When if in the 1970s, 1980s, it was $300, $400. We've got to make college free, recognizing that that's partly a path to the middle class and the upper middle class. Donna, thank you for your comments. Let me look next. Why isn't 12 weeks of paid leave included in the Build Back Better Act? It should be. It should be. It absolutely should be in terms of the paid leave. I mean, how can you not have paid leave if you give birth? It takes more than 4 weeks, by the way, to have time off. We ought to have 12 weeks. It's the minimum. We ought to be able to do that. Olivia, why isn't okay? Let me ask. Well, we answered the paid leave question. Let's get a few more. We can take as many of these questions. Audience, Mr. Trump took authority he did not have and did a lot of damage. Why can Biden use these loopholes to do good? Well, you know, Biden believes in the rule of law, and it's a good thing that the president doesn't believe in circumventing the rule of law. But he has a lot of authority under the rule of law, like executive orders, and he will use executive orders to pass these things. He will. We're pushing him on executive orders on clean energy, and we're pushing him on executive orders for student loans. Will Congress stay in session until BBB is passed? We should, Kerry. We absolutely should. That's what I'm pushing. We're hoping to pass some of it today. Jordy asks, shouldn't spending for climate change mitigation come directly out of the military budget? That's a great point, Jordy. You always have great points. I look forward to meeting back in Santa Clara at some point. Jordy, you're absolutely right. The military can do a lot more for climate mitigation, especially given the amount of emissions that come out of the military. And the military is committed to leading on climate, and some of the climate spending should come out of the Pentagon. That's a very thoughtful question. Other questions that we have? Maury, you wrote to me about Medicare not covering necessary vaccines like shingles, and I never responded. I appreciate that. We will look into it. Tom or Simone, can you make sure we get back to Mary about how we can expand? Shingles should be covered. I know people have had shingles, family and friends. We ought to be covering those vaccines in Medicare. We can push for that. Joy asked, it is heard that the 3.5 trillion has lots of issues and a big waste of money of corruption. Is that true, and do you agree? I don't think it's a big waste of money. First of all, it's down to 1.75 trillion, less than 0.6% of GDP. You tell me what part of it sounds like a waste. It would give every kid the opportunity to have preschool. It would make sure that no American family is paying more than 7% for childcare. It would make sure that seniors are getting dental, vision, and hearing. It would make sure that we have investment in solar and wind and in electric vehicles. These are the provisions that are in the bill. It would provide money for a child allowance. If you have a kid, you get $300 so that you can make ends meet with your kids and cover expenses. It's putting more money in the pockets of working families. And middle class families. Let me see here. Joy asked, okay, let me get Donna Smith, any updates on the January 6th investigation? Donna, we're working very hard. Benny Thompson is doing a great job. I think by the end of, in another couple of months, we should have a report on that. What can be done to clean up, Michael, unethical behavior and hostile environments in local government? Michael, write to us if there are particular things. We are happy to call for accountability. There's no place for a hostile work environment or lack of ethics in local government. That's a bare minimum. And if you write to us, I'm happy to raise it directly with the mayors. How can we improve Democratic chances in the midterms? I can't answer a direct political question. I can talk about what we can do policy-wise. Policy-wise, we have to deliver for the working class and middle class. We have to get policies passed that put more money in the pockets of working class and middle class Americans and make their lives better. That's what it's all about. Fran, where does immigration and pathway to citizenship stand in BBB now? we're working so hard to get it included in BBB. It's so critical that we get something in there. Cecil asked, what can you do to get more people to work for the IRS so that phones are answered? The inability to speak to a knowledgeable representative of the IRS is beyond frustrating. I appreciate that. This is the first time we've had that question. I will do what I can to increase funding. The current BBB bill increases funding for IRS agents, and that's one of the things that we are doing to get a better IRS. So I'm happy to do that. What about extra food stamps for seniors? That's a great point, Michelle. We need that. Can we pay for FEMA? Rich, I know Rich always asks the good questions. All of you do, but just running to the vote. Can we pay for FEMA and related emergency climate responses with a carbon tax? Rich, we're looking at the way to have a price in carbon, but right now we're going to be paying for a lot of it with taxes on the wealthy or taxes on corporations, so that 50 companies don't pay tax. We need to have the corporations actually pay tax at 15% minimum. That is one of the things that we will be doing. Two more questions. Is any investigating Kavanaugh for perjury? Anyway, I think that is not. There's so much going on. I think we're more focused on January 6th than holding Trump accountable for things he did to make sure that no president could do that again. Okay, one last question, and I really appreciate everyone. And I'm going to be back home all week. Assuming we get to vote, I come back home Monday because I didn't know if we'd have votes this weekend, and I'm there the whole week. And I look forward. I'm going to be all over the district and looking forward to meeting everyone. Again, I apologize for being a bit scattered today. I'm trying to multitask because they're calling these votes and meetings on these two bills that are so important to deliver for the president's agenda. Michael, how will President Biden's bill help small businesses? It's a great question, Michael. First, it's going to put more money in the pockets of consumers so people can buy things. If you want to help small businesses, give families more money for their kids so they can go buy more food, they can go buy more clothing, they can buy more toys, educational supplies, that'll help small business. And it's going to get more people back into the workforce. If you have childcare, now you can go back to work. That's going to help businesses. You talk to small businesses, they can't find people. And it's got money for some of the local papers and some of the small businesses as assistance. I appreciate all of the thoughts. We're going to have a longer town hall to make up for this. I just need to, and please contact us. I'll try to get as many questions answered. And I appreciate that all of your activism on these issues. I'm hoping now we can go past these two bills for the president and make a difference in people's lives. Thank you very much.